Very well. We're going to get railroad next turn. Finally, we can start actually connecting things up and making some progress. So let's go for one there. Sorry, let's put him there. Go there. This guy over here. That one there. This guy to come over. Let's get that there like this. So yeah, the goal basically is to connect things up with railroad, rather than trying to get every city completely fucked. The sound is a bit busted. I might have to load this game because the sound is all fuzzy and horrible. So let me do that. So this is what happens sometimes. These three, I don't want any of these three techs basically. I'll go for that one because it's the most advanced, and monarchy is not necessary. So yeah, I'm going to reload the game to see if I can get better sound quality, because that's ridiculous. That is annoying because yeah, I'm gonna have to switch it over for now, just for a little bit. I can't really do that though. Well, this guy will have to starve then, because I'm not losing a settler. Okay. Okay, so we have railroad. Exciting times. Right, so let's start off by connecting these ones then. Makes the most sense. So there's two things: connecting things with the railroad, and also special tiles. Excuse me, like this one with the gems. That will give it loads of extra trade. We'll give an extra 2 trade, so that's worth quite a lot. So I can consider doing that as well. But what I will do is I will simply connect everything up, because we've had so many attacks already. We've had to defend so much. I think the best thing to do is just to get everything linked up. And we got a nice lot of settlers as well. Now, what railroad does is not only does it mean that you can travel over it without paying any movement penalty at all, so you basically travel over it for free. And not only to do that, let's have this guy do this one, but also it gives you plus 50% on, or basically on food, not on trade. So it basically only applies to food and production. Except, well, it's hard to explain. It doesn't apply to these ones. It doesn't apply to these ones, but it does apply to this one, because it is applied before the road gets applied, basically. If that makes sense. There we go. Okay, so the Greeks have indeed got gunpowder, most likely from the Americans, which is irritating, but still, it's still doable. See, this game is completely ridiculous. That cavalry you just saw there, that's annoying. I don't know what happened there. I failed in my organising. That's what happened. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that cavalry was 2 on attack against my diplomat that had 0 defence, and yet somehow the cavalry managed to lose. So there's certain things I don't understand about this game, how it works. I think I can take, so this. Okay, so I managed to take him out before he fortified, and on a good square, so it was okay. So as you can see now, I've got railroad. Wherever it's between the black lines, there is no movement loss. The issue with, and I think it takes 3 turns to build a railroad. And if you compare these 2 tiles here, for example, that one's now got an extra food, and this one doesn't. Okay, so I'm basically, but if you travel through a city, then you lose 0.1. So I'll show you there. So it goes, you see, it goes from 0 to from 1 to 0.2, which means that there's, so you lose 1 sort of road movement point, as it were. Okay, now I just need to put all these catapults on the railroad line, and suddenly they're all connected, so that means they can all basically defend any of these cities, all of these catapults. So it's extremely useful to connect things to railroad. And now I've done this, the next step is to build a railroad down here, because if I can connect these cities here, then the only thing I have to worry about are these 2, and this one as well. Actually, I think possibly I'll do this one next, because I know that I can do it. I have the right set. I have enough settlers to be able to do that. Possibly, I'm not sure. I'll do this one first because these 2, I should say, first because they are. It's safer. So I've decided to do both at the same time. Let's move them over here. Gems. So I can see that this guy's about to unload, but I've got 4 catapults plus whatever's in here to defend. So now it's only really this guy down here there should be an issue. The others really I should be able to take out no matter what comes off the boat, even musketeers. I've got so many, it shouldn't be a problem. That's going to be low. I might just turn the sound off if I can't get it fixed. We shall see. So I'm just going to load up again. Drink. So the sound was not working, so I'm just going to switch the sound off. Okay, so 2 more in here. So hopefully I'm not going to lose them all. So yeah, just as I moved all of them out, of course, a massive load of the enemy turn up, as it were. So let's move him back. It's normally way too expensive, but not too much this time. 904. I'm still going to say forget it because I've got loads of defences in there now. What's have I got? 25. I've got 25 catapults, which is, well, it should be more than enough, but as we know, you can't ever be too careful. Trying to build the railroad, with the exception of this hill, on the tiles that are quickest, which is not going to be the hill or the forest, it'll be the plains, just so you can get as much done as possible. So basically I shouldn't be building any more catapults anywhere. This guy does not need any more catapults anymore. In fact, I've got too many, but I will run out of them in time, I have no doubt, with the amount of attacks that are coming. So the idea now is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the railroad line, plus these 2 down here, plus 1 down there. So all I have to do is connect the railroad, and then I've got access to the whole of my empire, as it were. I notice I'm a very slow player, I'm afraid. I'm an old man these days. But as you can see, if you make a slight error, then you're under a lot of risk, basically. So it is necessary sometimes. And he's very kindly walked straight into my catapults, which is very, very kind of him. It's going to take a lot for me to get annoyed now, because I've just got loads of units. So the next thing is we need to get the discoveries down. 6 turns is way too long. And the way to do that is to get the wonders of the world that are along the line of electricity. So metallurgy and magnetism gets electricity. So about 3 or 4 technologies away from computers. So yeah, so let's change him Dolman's Voyage can be good as well, but it's very short term. It just gives you 2 free technologies immediately, which can be good if you're kind of struggling to get over the line. It can be good, either earlier on or later on. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, to be honest, we need to grow these cities as well. Ideally, develop this city as well. Is Jerusalem? Yeah, okay, so I can actually support that now. Now that it's got the railroad. No, it doesn't even have that. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. What am I doing? Not irrigation. Railroad all the way to the city. So I think I've connected almost everywhere. It's only Cyrene that needs connection, I believe. Oh no, in this one. Everything else is basically done. And up there as well. I'm pointing at the screen with my finger, but of course it doesn't help you guys. All right. Trade and banking and industrialization gives you factories, which, to be fair, is probably what I will need anyway. So I probably shouldn't have gone for electricity then, but it's not as big a deal. Electricity and electronics also, they extinguish the Colossus, and yeah. So yeah, the other civs have really been very lax on the technology front and on the wonders front this game. But electricity will get rid of the Colossus, so it means the Americans will have less trade in one of their cities. So there's a small reason, but I probably should have gone for trade, especially now I've got the railroad. It means I can get caravans that can travel immediately from one side of the map to the other, one side of the island to the other, I should say. Get this. So railroading the gold is awesome because gold already has that. So you basically get 3 more trade on top of that, which is pretty cool. And if you mine it as well, then you get an extra one as well, an extra production. So yeah, it takes a while, but it's worth doing. And you can sort of rely on that gold sometimes to get you out of sticky situations, as I already showed in a previous video. Okay, that's musketeers, so it's going to be a bit tricky, but we've got there for that one. Get around to there, I think, just about. Or can I? No, I can't. Never mind. So now I really want them to land here. I don't want them to be scared of landing there, because then I can attack them with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 catapults. It should be enough. That's annoying. That is annoying. So that's not going to work. I'm going to lose the settler next turn anyway, so there's no point. I'm going to click B, which means add to city, which means I'm putting it back on. It means it grows by 1, so that's what's happened. It won't grow anymore until I railroad these two things, but I'm not expecting it to grow. I'm not expecting it to be a massive city. And now I just need to work out what's left to do. So building a railroad here means you can get around, and it means you can attack anything that comes up here. If you see something that lands there, then I can attack that. So that, I think, does make sense. But once all the sort of functional railroad has been done, I should say, then really I think there's one left over there that is useful. All that's left is just to railroad everything, because railroad gives you that bonus. In fact, I don't know why I'm railroading this one when I should be going for this one. And I need to, yeah, so I should be getting more growth now across the board. So I need to just check on the cities. That's annoying, because I could have bought that. If I bought that aqueduct last turn when food was there, then it would be ready just in time, but as it is, it's going to miss out. So there's no point in buying it, because I won't be needing it until it grows again up to 10. I'm not as desperate for production now. Now that I've got railroad, I've got the access to defences everywhere, so I can focus entirely on food. Although here it's tempting to get a bit more production so I can get this university. The university would be better at this one. That is too good to say no to. Tempted to just buy that to get me going. So Nicopolis has 19, which means I'll get an extra 9, which is the equivalent of an entire extra city almost. It's the same as like Brundisium or Byzantium. So it's the same as having like an extra city. So I'm going to do it. Even though it means I've got virtually no money, so I will have to lose a turn. But it will pay off in the long term. There are 2 universities that are useful. I think it's this one as well, right? Yeah. So actually, there's not that many more useful tiles that can actually. There's 4 more. I think I'm going to get university here as well. Let's put this one out on the road as well. Let's get this guy out as well. You basically want like as many as you can on the network. You basically want all of them on the network, and you want them ideally not next to the sea as well, so they can't be attacked by sea units. And you can just swing them around to defend whatever. That's probably the most catapults I've ever had. Well, it's a lot. keep the pressure up with the um, technology. So there you go, cavalry, indestructible cavalry there, being a phalanx in city walls. Probably a veteran phalanx as well. Veteran phalanx would be 9 on defence, so 2 against 9. I'm interested to know how much it costs to buy it. I don't know why. Well, I should just destroy it, but no. Electronics gives you the Hoover Dam, and there are basically 3 more wonders, or 4 really, that we're looking for that are kind of important. There's women's suffrage, which you get with industrialisation. There's the Hoover Dam, and there's the SETI program. They're all kind of important. And then if you want to finish the game quickly, then basically to finish it as quickly as possible, you've got to get the Apollo program because it shows you where all the other person's cities are. So that's basically the way that I'll be doing it. And that's pretty consistent in every game. So now we can basically even defend this, or almost. We've got 1 more to go, and then we can defend this with a catapult that's miles away. Let's use up this chariot. Chariots have no longer have any value really, apart from at the end to try and when you're going from city to city, just taking out all the cities one at a time. The chariots are used for them, which will become clear in due course. But yeah, I'd say the sort of tense part of the game has basically passed now. So I'll send them into a veteran at least, which is something. Now it's just a question, or well, unless I get attacked heavily from the north and from the south at the same time, in which case I might need to start buying more catapults and stuff like that. But it seems unlikely, to be honest. It seems like the attacks are now dying down compared to what they were before. That might just be because I'm destroying their units so quickly. It seems like that. But yeah, looks like it's going all right. So, what to do? 9 turns, so let's speed that up. I will actually need, I'm thinking I will actually need universities anyway. Sometimes you don't need to get universities, you can just grow the cities. If you've got a lot of cities, anyway, that's annoying, then you don't always need universities. But it's normally a good idea to get 1 or 2 anyway in the best places, which I think I have now. So yeah, so Rome, Byzantium, Nicopolis. Nicopolis has got 1. Byzantium. Okay, get library there. This guy, it's going to be, he's only 6, so he's a long way from needing an aqueduct. Yeah, I should have gone for trade in order to get more caravans for starters, but also to get banking, which leads to industrialization. Just give me 1 sec. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the sound. So I basically switched it off because it was being well, it didn't sound very nice. But for the next video, it will be back on. I'll reboot the computer and do that for the next one. One of those. Yeah. It's more like it. So they don't pillage railroad. So if you can, so yeah, you can build railroads, and the railroads will still give the same bonuses as irrigating. In fact, they give more than irrigating in some cases. Like for the horse, this one, for example, railroading. Actually, that's not true, is it? Actually, if you, it depends. Basically, railroad is plus 50% of the base yields, whereas irrigating is just add one food. So it depends on the situation. Ideally, you want both, which is why that's there, which is really good. Take this guy out as well. So yeah, it's a lot more relaxing, a lot less thought intensive. This part of the game, just when you've got a railroad and they're trying to attack you, when the attacks are just not going to. It's unlikely that they're going to work, but they're doing a good job of being annoying. And what to do? So something like this, a city like this, is never gonna, unless I use this gems, or clear this stuff and turn it into something I can make food from, which I might do later on. That's an interesting one. Turning forest into plains. I think, given the fact that I've got a relatively small empire and a relatively small economy, so that might be worth doing with the settlers. In which case, things might change. Basically, I don't have much trade. I don't have much trade. Don't have much gold or whatever. So, getting universities and things like that is possibly a bit more than what's necessary. So it's good in places like this to build sort of diplomats, or build, if we're at war, which of course we're not really now. We're not struggling now. To build caravans is a good idea. In the meantime, I mean, I could actually, let's work towards some city walls. I'm paranoid now. There's a lot of things in this game that have made me paranoid because of all the ways they've attacked. I'm paranoid that I'm going to get attacked from the north now, so all my city walls are going to be redundant on the south, or at least they're going to attack me from two sides. But I'm probably just being paranoid at this point. So computers or trade? I think I'm going to go for trade. The reason being that I can now work towards this wonder here. So these wonders at the bottom. The one I've got here at the bottom, that is the biggest sort of investment that is needed. It's 600 shields. You can change between wonders like this, so it's just a facet of the game that you can do that. So yeah, so I'll start building the Hoover Dam. The Hoover Dam applies to factories, so it supplies hydropower to all cities, which is really, really good. I think it says it supplies it to all cities. I don't know if it literally applies it to all cities, or if it only applies to cities where you can build a hydro plant. I'm not 100% on that. I think it is literally just to all cities. But needless to say, there's, I've got all my cities on one continent, so it's a really big deal. How many cities do I have exactly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 14 cities, which is a good number. They're not very good cities, some of them. But 14's a decent number. So actually, if I built this city up, if I built this city up, then I'll probably have a sort of medium to, medium size really. Got 2 phalanxes. Do I need another phalanx in there? Possibly. Let's do that. Let's not mess around. I shouldn't have done that, should I? Yeah, I did home city. This is the only thing I'm going to lose if you have a black one of those. So if you don't have enough production, then it means you don't support one of your units, and it will get rid of the settler first, of course, won't it? So yeah, so wherever that settler is, home city 2. Let's change it to this one. So then at least I won't lose that. I was mining this one, wasn't I? So mined railroaded hill gives you 4 production, which is pretty good. I think this should be a bit more like that. Even mine that, although actually, to be honest, that food is looking quite useful right now, isn't it? So maybe I'll leave it there. Road doesn't do anything to hill in terms of doesn't give you any extra. Excuse me, doesn't give you any extra trade or anything like that. So they're really being as annoying as possible. It's interesting what they've done there. Something I should have anticipated is they've unloaded onto a mountain, which is really bad news because and it's the worst thing they could have done because, like for me, because they've got a musketeer there and they've got a catapult there, and the catapult is going to win, is likely to win against all those 3, and nothing I've got is likely to beat this, really, except a veteranized catapult will be equal, but it's very tricky to do. So this is going to be a real pain. And actually, I might wait. In fact, even worse than that, I can't. I've got diplomats, so I can actually squeeze through. Let's just hold on a second. And I've also got to take out this stuff as well. And suddenly everything's going to lose. I can sense it. So I'm pressing the W button for wait, in case you're wondering. Probably not, but anyway. Okay, so yeah, I think I have to. I can't assume that this is going to win. That I'm ever going to win against the catapult attacking, unless I build city walls. That's the other option. But even if I build city walls, still feel like the catapult has a good chance against the phalanx. I think I've got to take this out before it fortifies. And it might cost me a lot of catapults, but that I think is just the way it goes. Yeah, I'm not enjoying this. Again, this is going back to being tense. Let's see if we can take out some of the other guys first. No, it's going to make me lose all the catapults, isn't it? Yeah, I can see it. I can feel it. This guy, there's one in there. Wow, this is quite something today, I have to say. Nope, still not having it. I mean, that's just an absolute nightmare of a situation there because I should have put a diplomat on that mountain, basically. It didn't occur to me that it can unload onto the mountain, which was silly. It's not the end of the world at this point, but I'm just going to lose loads of catapults. But I mean, I've still got 17, so it shouldn't be a problem. It should be okay in the end, but you just never know. Oh, I've done it. Thank goodness. That was an absolute beast. So I'm going to try and set up onto that mountain so that can't happen again. Let's see if there's anything else going on down here. So yeah, all the other mountains are not next to the cities, so it's not a big problem. Okay. Right. So, okay, so he will take out one of those, but that's fine. It's not a problem. Oh, he didn't even. So yeah, as bad as that was, at the end of the day, I've got loads of catapults inside all of these cities, and so all the ones that I lost, I can just replace, put these back on the network, as it were, and I still got loads that I can use to defend. Because of the madness from before. If anything, it's actually kind of good that it makes me feel like I haven't wasted the money, the time and the resources and stuff like that on these. Now this one I do have to be careful with because Syracuse is already not very happy. Now this has actually got enough for We Love the King Day, so I might try and steer clear of that to try and get free growth on that as before. So where should we? Who's got spare capacity? Probably this. Let's put him back in. There's loads of others we can put on the network. Stay in there. I think we'll put one in there. Just to it's Byzantium, so that's already a different city. So yeah. Let's keep him in there. And the railroad is filling up quite nicely now. Having a nice sea of black. If it's a defensive unit that I'm attacking, like a musketeer, then use a veteran if possible. A lot of these, of course, won't be veterans because they're straight from the cities. There's a lot of aqueducts that are needed. Okay. All right. So I've got cannons. So that's metallurgy. I think have I got cannons? Yeah, I've got cannons as well. So yeah, which is to be expected if you got gunpowder. Doesn't take that much to get university, and this is we're at 1500 AD, so we're very far into the game already. What to do here then? So it's got a university already. So actually, I could just get barracks and build some cannons from here to replace these catapults. So slight improvement on the catapult. Cannons have 8 on attack. Catapults have 6 on attack. Kill that guy with the chariots. Make use of this chariot. There you go. Where is it? Yeah, so yeah, JS Box Cathedrals means I get 1 unit for free, which is nice. These Greeks are desperate for me to eat my words about me being comfortable now. They're still sending in quite a lot of attacking units, but I'm still not concerned just yet. I was going to put this guy on the mountain, so let's do that because that was very concerning. It'd be nice to be able to railroad that swamp to get the extra production from it as well, but sadly that is not within scope because of the attacking that would happen otherwise. I need to try and veteranize whatever I can from these guys, or just lose them. Apparently that legion really doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to die, does it? There you go. So I've got trade now, which means I can get caravans. Now I'm going to build this aqueduct and then sell it because I'm almost built it anyway. University's a waste of time. Cathedral also. Cathedral basically reduces the number of... So 4 unhappy people are made content. Which again, I don't need such a small city. It doesn't really matter. What I should do, is put another catapult from here on the line, on the network. That seems like a useful thing to do. And I've done most of the railroad for the central part of for the Civ now. Let's get another one over here. Don't know why I did that. So yeah, have they railroaded that gold yet? Well, they railroaded that. There we go. Bang. It's got so many that it literally goes over into the next square. Um, so yeah, I'm running out of squares, and actually, what I might do, I think I might, yeah, I might make some improvements to Cyrene, give it a bit more food, turn it into a decent city, because I think I need a little bit more out of my cities. And then, well, I've got a choice. I can either try and build this up at the same time as protecting it against these guys, which I'm also tempted to do, actually. I think we can get enough. We do have enough space to be able to get some more out of that section. There's some knights there, which of course are not. They're going to take out my. I'm going to take something out probably. There we go. So yeah, should have waited. But you can't get it all right all of the time, can you? Right, so let's sell this. And yeah, I should be building caravans now that I have trade. For trade routes and also for improving wonders as well. Okay, let's see if we can get rid of that guy. So we got rid of that guy first time, which is fantastic. Let's get rid of these guys first time if we can. And that guy as well. Okay. So let's quickly get rid of this before he gets stuck on railroading. I mean, it's just too many forces coming in on that side. Well, I've got some work to do down here that we tried to do before, but we couldn't. We can do it now instead. And let's do the same with these ones. You can add to city as well, which is not a stupid idea. If you add these to these cities, then they go up by 1. It doesn't. You can't add to a city that is 10 or more. Okay, so how are we looking? This one, so yeah, I'm going to buy that because if I can get some more growth and then some more C squares for Antioch, that'd be good. Antioch can become sort of a super city. It's useful to try and have big cities at either end of your map. That's loads of troops, by the way. For trade routes, basically. If you can, in an ideal world, if you have 3 big cities on either side of your map, or your island, I should say, then that's good. So yeah, that was only one thing, wasn't it? So it wasn't that useful. Yeah, this is the problem. So I had all these units in here, but I can't support them because they're on all of my stuff, all of my thing. So that's annoying. So we are running out of units again. Well, not quite yet, but we're getting there. And with things like that, with cavalry being what they are, it's not easy. Yeah. Well, let's start with the most important one, which I think is probably this one, although if we can actually destroy it. Pretty soon, looks like we might have to go back to building catapults again. So just after I said I wasn't worried, we've gone from 25 catapults to 12 catapults, despite basically being odds-on favourites to win in every fight. So it's not easy. Right, let's go for Right, let's take a risk and go there. I'm still kind of determined to develop that area. I need to get this stuff out quickly, I think, because I'm going to have to go back to doing what I was doing before, shuffling between tax and science, I think. Just a small note, the reason I did that, so I've actually got fewer than I need because it's about to grow. So I've still got 4 catapults on the network. And I can start sort of nicking them from the individual cities as well, if needed. Let's get a caravan. Let's get some trade routes. So I want caravans, trade routes, and I want factories, and I want the wonders of the world. Those are the things that are on the to-do list. He can't sustain, so he needs to go for this one. Annoyingly, I don't have any that I can attack. I've got a couple here actually, don't I? I've got a couple here that I can use. Well, this one anyway. I can use to attack the musketeers, which we want to do now if we can, really, because well, we can't though. We can only do one of them, so I might try and buy the other one because then I've got a musketeer as defence. Yep, that's good. That's what we want to see. So yeah, I'm still not super happy with what just happened, but it's fine. We are getting there at least. So what I really want is just railroad and irrigation for these ones, and then yeah, I'll probably leave that one. I could try and make more of a city out of this by clearing these two. I think I'm going to have to. It's quite rare for me to do that, but I think it is necessary. Do I want this? Do I care this one in here? Let's keep it in there. Sky's got decent sort of production. Regardless, even if I change these 3, I'll have 3 more. Looks pretty good, and I can always put hill on that one. Mine on that hill, excuse me. So let's do that. Let's spend 8 turns, basically converting the forest into plains and then irrigating the plains. Good, we'll stick with that. And I think I'm going to end this one here after this end of this term. Save it.